Yakutsk, one of the coldest inhabited places on Earth, is a land where winter temperatures regularly drop below -70 degrees Celsius. In such extreme conditions, food is not just about nutrition, but it is also a crucial factor in survival. The people of Yakutsk have relied on traditional foods for generations, crafting meals that provide warmth, energy, and essential nutrients to withstand the brutal cold. These dishes are designed to fuel the body, keep the metabolism active, and maintain strength in an environment where fresh produce is scarce and the biting cold drains energy quickly. One of the most well-known traditional foods of Yakutsk is stroganina, a simple yet essential dish made from raw, frozen fish. Freshly caught whitefish, salmon, or sturgeon is immediately frozen and then sliced into thin curls with a sharp knife. Served with a mixture of salt and black pepper for added flavor, stroganina retains all its natural nutrients, particularly omega-3 fatty acids, which help keep the skin from drying out in the cold and maintain body heat. Because it requires no cooking, this dish is perfect for winter, when outdoor conditions make food preparation more difficult. Horse meat and reindeer meat are chief sources of protein in Yakutsk, offering dense nutritional value that is vital for surviving long, frigid winters. Horse meat is known for being lean but rich in iron, making it an important part of the local diet. It is often eaten boiled, smoked, or frozen and sliced thin, much like stroganina. Reindeer meat, with its high fat content, provides necessary insulation for the body against the cold. These meats are not just a source of protein but an essential energy supply that helps people working outdoors endure extreme temperatures for long hours. Yakut cuisine also includes dairy-based high-energy foods, such as kurchak. This dish is calorie-dense, providing a quick and lasting energy boost while also offering a small but crucial source of natural vitamins from the berries. Boiled meat and bone broth are also essential parts of the Yakut diet, providing deep nourishment in the cold. Horse, reindeer, or beef is boiled and served with its own broth, which is rich in collagen and minerals that help maintain joint and muscle health, an important factor for those who spend long hours in the freezing outdoors. Drinking hot bone broth helps the body warm up quickly, making it a common meal after exposure to the elements. Fat is a key element of survival in Yakutsk's climate, and many traditional foods are rich in animal fats. Sakaya, a type of rendered fat, is often spread on bread or mixed with berries and honey to create a high-energy snack. These fats provide long-lasting warmth and insulation, ensuring that the body stays fueled even in the harshest conditions. The extreme cold rapidly depletes energy, so consuming high-fat foods is not just a preference but a necessity for survival. Surviving Yakutsk's extreme winter is not just about wearing layers of warm clothing, it requires the right nutrition to maintain strength, energy, and body heat. Traditional Yakut foods have been perfected over generations to provide exactly what the human body needs in such an unforgiving environment. Whether it's the frozen delicacy of stroganina, the nourishing warmth of bone broth, or the sustaining power of reindeer and horse meat, every meal serves a purpose beyond taste. These foods are the foundation of life in one of the coldest places on Earth, proving that in the fight against extreme cold, survival truly begins with what's on the plate. In the coldest places on Earth, fire is one of the most important things. It keeps people warm, helps them cook food, and stops them from freezing to death. In places like Yakutsk, where it gets as cold as -65 degrees Celsius, making a fire is not easy. Wood becomes very hard to burn, lighters and matches do not always work, and even fuel can freeze very fast. People must learn the best ways to start a fire in this kind of extreme weather. They need the right tools and must be fully prepared before winter arrives. Not all wood burns well in very cold weather. Dry wood is the best because wet wood will freeze and will not burn properly. People in cold places use wood like birch, larch, and pine because these types make a strong, long-lasting fire. Many people cut and store wood long before winter begins. They keep it in a dry place, like a shed or inside their homes, so it is ready when they need it. Without dry wood, making a fire becomes much harder and can even be impossible in extreme temperatures. Big logs do not catch fire easily, especially when the weather is very cold. People first use small pieces of wood like twigs, bark, or shavings to start the fire. These small pieces catch fire quickly and help the larger logs start burning. Some people make fire starters by mixing wax with sawdust or paper. Others use cotton balls with oil or petroleum jelly on them. Birch bark is one of the best natural fire starters because it has natural oil that burns very fast and very hot, even when it is damp. Snow and ice can put out a fire very fast. If a fire is made directly on ice, it will melt the ice underneath and then go out. To stop this from happening, people put logs, rocks, or thick layers of dry leaves under the fire. Some people dig a hole in the snow to block the wind and help the fire stay lit. If there are trees around, they clear the snow all the way down to the ground before starting the fire. This helps keep the fire burning for a long time. Sometimes, wood is too frozen or wet to use. In these situations, people burn other things. They can use animal fat, cooking oil, or even dried grass and moss. Some people carry small stoves that run on alcohol or special fuel tablets. Others use propane or kerosene heaters to stay warm. These tools are very useful when there is no dry wood available. People in cold places always have a backup plan for starting a fire because it can mean the difference between life and death. Strong wind can blow out a fire very easily. That is why people start fires in places that are protected from the wind, like behind big rocks, inside small caves, or next to walls of snow. If someone is lost or stuck in the cold, they need to make a fire as fast as possible. If they do not have matches or lighters, they can try rubbing sticks together, but this is very hard and takes a long time. A better way is to use a battery and steel wool to make sparks. Some people carry small fire-starting kits with chemicals that can burn even in extreme cold. If gasoline or diesel is available, it can also help start a fire quickly, but people must be very careful when using it because it is dangerous. Fire is not just for warmth. It melts snow into drinking water, cooks food, and dries wet clothes. Without fire, people can freeze in just a few minutes in very cold weather. That is why people who live in cold places always carry fire-starting tools with them. They keep extra matches, lighters, and dry fuel in their pockets or bags. Having these things can save their lives if they ever get stuck in the cold. New technology is making fire starting easier in the cold. Some people use electric lighters that make fire without gas. Others use heated rods that can start fires very quickly. Special fire pits keep heat for a long time, so people do not need as much wood. Some people also use thermal blankets to reflect heat from the fire and keep warm. These new tools help people survive in extreme cold without having to struggle as much to start a fire. Even though it is hard, people in cold places know the best ways to start fires. They use old and new ways to make sure they stay warm and safe. Fire is not just about staying alive, it is about staying comfortable and being able to survive in some of the harshest places on Earth. The alarm rings. A fire is spreading fast. The firefighters rush to the scene, but there's a problem: their equipment could freeze before they even start spraying. In Yakutsk, where winter temperatures drop to 65 degrees, putting out a fire is not just difficult, but it's a fight against nature itself. During a rescue mission, firefighters cannot stop spraying water for even a second. If they do, the water inside their hoses will freeze. Fire hydrants also freeze. Fire trucks and tools can stop working because of the cold. Firefighters must wear special clothes to stay warm. They also need special ways to fight fires because normal methods do not work well in extreme cold. When firefighters spray water on a fire, it can freeze in the air before it reaches the flames. If water touches a building, it turns into ice and sticks to the walls. The ice makes buildings heavy. Sometimes, roofs and walls break because of the extra weight. Firefighters must be very careful because ice can make buildings fall. They also have to keep their hoses moving all the time. If they stop spraying water for even a short time, the hoses will freeze. Frozen hoses become hard like metal and cannot be used anymore. To stop this from happening, fire trucks in Yakutsk have heated water tanks. These tanks keep water warm before firefighters use it. Firefighters also use special hoses with insulation. These hoses help slow down freezing. In some cases, they mix chemicals in the water to keep it from freezing too fast. However, these chemicals do not work for a long time. That is why firefighters must work quickly. The cold weather is also bad for firefighting equipment. Normal firefighting suits do not work in Yakutsk. If firefighters sweat, their sweat can freeze inside their clothes. This makes them feel even colder. To stay warm, they wear many layers of insulated clothes. Their gloves and boots have heating elements inside them. Their helmets have extra insulation to keep their heads warm. Even with these clothes, firefighters must be very careful. If they stay outside for too long, they can still get very cold. Fire trucks also need special protection from the cold. If a fire truck's engine turns off, it may not start again. Because of this, firefighters never turn off their fire trucks, even when they are parked. Fire trucks have heated compartments to keep tools warm. If tools get too cold, they can break easily. Firefighters also carry portable heaters to keep small tools warm. Without heat, metal tools become too hard and can snap. Finding a water supply is also a big problem in Yakutsk. In most cities, firefighters can use fire hydrants on the street. But in Yakutsk, hydrants are covered by deep snow. If firefighters find a hydrant, it is usually frozen solid. They cannot use it right away. Firefighters must first melt the ice with steam hoses, blowtorches, or small fires. This can take 15 to 30 minutes, which is a long time when there is a fire. Because of this, most fire trucks in Yakutsk have built-in water tanks. These tanks keep water warm and ready to use. However, the tanks hold only a small amount of water. Firefighters must work fast before the water runs out. Since water is hard to use in Yakutsk, firefighters often use other ways to put out fires. One of the best methods is firefighting foam. Foam does not freeze as quickly as water. It also sticks to surfaces, which helps put out fires faster. Firefighters sometimes use dry chemical extinguishers. These stop fires without using any water at all. This is helpful for electrical fires and chemical fires, where water is dangerous to use. Another danger in Yakutsk is the thick layers of ice that form during firefighting. When water touches a building, it freezes instantly. If firefighters spray too much water, ice builds up quickly. The ice can make roofs collapse or walls break apart. Firefighters must watch the ice carefully. If there is too much ice, they must stop spraying water or break the ice before it gets too heavy. Ice also makes the ground very slippery, so firefighters must move slowly to avoid falling. Even though it is very dangerous, firefighters in Yakutsk work hard every day to keep people safe. They get special training to learn how to fight fires in extreme cold. They practice using frozen equipment, working in icy areas, and putting out fires quickly before their water turns to ice. They must be very strong and smart to do their job in such extreme weather. Fighting fires in Yakutsk is not just about stopping flames. It is also about fighting the cold. The extreme weather makes simple tasks very difficult. Firefighters need special equipment, new techniques, and great teamwork to do their job. Every fire they fight is a battle against the freezing weather. It is one of the hardest jobs in the world, but these brave men and women continue to do it. Their work shows that human strength and intelligence can overcome even the most extreme conditions. So, the next time you see a firefighter, remember that some heroes don't just fight, they fight the impossible. How farmers keep their cows alive in one of the coldest places on Earth, where the ground stays frozen for most of the year and fresh grass is just a dream. If you're curious, join us in this video as we take you to the land of ice to uncover the secrets behind their survival. In Yakutsk, where winters are long and brutally cold, farmers face a huge challenge keeping their animals fed and healthy when there is no fresh grass to eat. To survive, they must work tirelessly during the short summer months, harvesting and storing enough food before the harsh winter arrives. This is not an easy job. It requires careful planning, hard work, and precise timing. If they make mistakes or fail to prepare enough food, their cows could suffer or even die. Their survival depends on the dedication and skill of these farmers, who battle extreme weather to keep their livestock alive. The first step is choosing the right type of grass. Since summer in Yakutsk is very short, farmers must grow grass that grows very fast. Some grasses take a long time to grow, but that will not work in this cold region. The chosen grass must also have a lot of nutrients so that cows stay healthy. Before planting, farmers must prepare the soil. The ground in Yakutsk stays frozen for most of the year. It only melts for a short time in summer. As soon as the ice melts, farmers start working. They loosen the soil so the grass can grow well. They also add natural fertilizer or compost. This helps make the soil rich in nutrients. Good soil helps the grass grow quickly and become strong. Once the grass begins to grow, farmers take good care of it. They make sure the grass gets enough sunlight and water. If there are weeds, they remove them so that the grass can grow without competition. The timing of the harvest is very important. If farmers cut the grass too early, it will not have enough nutrients. If they wait too long, the grass will become too tough, making it hard for cows to eat. Farmers carefully check the grass and wait until it reaches the perfect height. When the grass is ready, they use special cutting machines to harvest it. These machines help cut the grass quickly and evenly. This keeps the grass fresh and full of nutrients. Harvesting must be done fast because the summer season is very short. If farmers delay, they might not have enough food stored for winter. After cutting, the grass has a lot of water. If it is stored wet, it will rot and develop mold. Moldy grass is dangerous for cows because it can make them sick. To prevent this, farmers must dry the grass properly before storing it. The drying process is very important. Farmers spread the grass out in the sun. They turn it over several times so that it dries evenly. If the grass is not dried well, it will spoil during storage. The drying process takes a few days, depending on the weather. If it rains, the farmers must act quickly to cover the grass. Rainwater can ruin the entire batch. Once the grass is dry, it must be packed properly. Farmers use machines to press the hay into large, tight blocks. These blocks are called hay bales. The machine squeezes the hay tightly to remove extra air and moisture. This helps keep the hay fresh for a long time. Each hay bale is tied with strong rope or netting to keep it in shape. The bales are made in a uniform size so they are easy to stack and store. Farmers make sure the bales are packed well so that the hay does not spoil before winter. Storing the hay is another important step. If the hay is not stored properly, it can get damaged by snow, rain, or small animals. Farmers must keep the hay safe so that it remains fresh and clean. Many farmers store their hay inside barns or special storage buildings. This keeps the hay dry and protected from the weather. If there is not enough space inside, farmers cover the bales with large plastic sheets or tarps. This prevents rain and snow from reaching the hay. Farmers check their hay regularly. If they find mold, they remove it immediately. Even a small amount of mold can be dangerous for cows. Proper storage ensures that the hay stays good throughout the long winter. During the freezing winter, cows cannot go outside to find food. They depend completely on the hay that farmers prepared in summer. The stored hay provides them with energy and nutrients. In addition to hay, some farmers also give their cows other food, such as grains or special feed. This helps provide extra nutrients during the cold months. However, hay is the most important food for cows in Yakutsk. Without it, they would not survive the extreme winter. The winter in Yakutsk is long and difficult, but thanks to their hard work, the cows have enough food to stay strong. The farmers' dedication is incredible. They never give up, even when the weather is harsh. They continue their work year after year, making sure their animals survive in one of the coldest places on Earth. Without this careful preparation, keeping cows in Yakutsk would not be possible. Their survival depends on the effort and determination of the farmers. Picture yourself as a mail carrier in a land where winter never loosens its grip. At -65°C, the cold stings like 1,000 needles, and your every exhale turns to frost in an instant. Even small tasks, like holding a letter, become difficult. In Yakutsk, the coldest city in the world, this is what mail carriers deal with every single day. No matter how bad the weather gets, they must make sure that letters and packages reach the people who need them. Their job is not easy. The roads are covered in ice, the wind is strong, and snowstorms make it even harder. Some villages are so far away that there are no roads leading to them. In these places, mail is delivered by snowmobiles, sleds, or even reindeer. Even though the weather is extreme, the people of Yakutsk depend on their mail carriers. They need letters, medicine, food, and other important things. Without these hardworking people, life in this frozen city would be much harder. Mail carriers start their day before sunrise. Before they go outside, they must dress in many layers to stay warm. They wear insulated boots to protect their feet, thick gloves to keep their fingers from freezing, and fur-lined hats to cover their heads. But even with all these warm clothes, the cold still reaches them. If their gloves are too thick, they cannot hold letters properly. If they wear thinner gloves, their fingers might freeze. They must move quickly and carefully to do their job. The wind makes everything even worse. On some days, strong Arctic winds make it feel like -70°C. Walking through deep snow is slow and difficult. Icy sidewalks make it easy to slip and fall. Even opening a mailbox is painful because the metal is so cold. If a mail carrier takes off their gloves for just a few minutes, their fingers can freeze. If their boots are not warm enough, they might lose feeling in their toes. That is why they must take short breaks in warm places before going back outside. Mail carriers in Yakutsk do not always walk to deliver mail. The snow is too deep, and the cold can be too dangerous. Instead, they use different ways to reach people. Some use snowmobiles to get to faraway villages. Others drive special trucks that have heated cabins and tires designed for icy roads. But when the snow gets too deep, even snowmobiles and trucks stop working. That is when mail carriers must use dog sleds or reindeer. Even with all these challenges, people in Yakutsk depend on their mail every day. They receive important documents, medicine, and supplies from other parts of the country. Without mail carriers, Yakutsk would be cut off from the rest of the world. These workers do more than just deliver packages. They help connect families, bring hope, and make sure that life in Yakutsk does not stop, even in the coldest weather. Mail carriers cannot stay outside for too long. Even the warmest winter clothes cannot protect them forever. That is why they take short breaks inside heated shelters. These shelters let them warm up before going back outside. During their breaks, they drink hot tea, check their fingers and toes for frostbite, and let their clothes dry before putting them back on. Without these short breaks, the cold would be too dangerous for them to work in. People in Yakutsk know how important their mail carriers are. They do not just see them as delivery workers. They see them as an important part of the city. Mail carriers bring letters, medicine, and food to people who need them. They help businesses by delivering important documents. They keep families connected. Technology is starting to help with mail delivery in other parts of the world. Some places are testing drones and robots to deliver mail. But in Yakutsk, the weather makes it very difficult for these machines to work properly. Drones cannot fly in strong winds. Robots cannot move through deep snow. For now, human mail carriers are still the best way to get mail to people. Maybe in the future, technology will help more. But today, the people of Yakutsk still depend on hardworking men and women who deliver mail no matter how cold it gets. Mail carriers in Yakutsk work in one of the toughest places on Earth. They fight against freezing temperatures, dangerous roads, and snowstorms. Yet, they never stop. They make sure that letters and packages reach people, no matter how bad the weather is. The next time you open your mailbox, think about how far your letter has traveled. If you live in Yakutsk, do not forget to thank your mail carrier for their hard work. They do more than deliver mail, they keep the city alive. Imagine driving a big truck on a road made of ice. Under your wheels, there is no land, only frozen lakes and rivers. The ice makes noises as it moves and cracks. One mistake could be very dangerous. This is the life of ice road truckers, the brave drivers who risk everything to help people in the coldest places. In Yakutsk, one of the coldest cities on Earth, these truckers are a lifeline for remote villages and industries that depend on them. Yakutsk is so cold in winter that normal roads are impossible to use in some areas. Snow covers the land, and the only way to bring food, fuel, and medicine to faraway places is by truck. But these trucks do not drive on normal roads. They drive on ice roads, which only exist for a few months before melting away. Driving on ice is not like driving on a normal road. The ice can crack and break under the weight of the truck. Truckers must follow special rules. They cannot stop suddenly because that might make the ice crack. They cannot drive too fast because speed creates waves under the ice, and these waves can break it. They also cannot stay in one place for too long. The heat from the truck can melt the ice and make it weak. If the ice is too thin, the truck can fall into the freezing water. Some truckers have lost their trucks this way. If they do not escape in time, they can lose their lives. That is why every driver must be very careful and listen for sounds of cracking ice. The freezing weather makes the job even harder. In Yakutsk, the temperature can fall to -50 degrees Celsius, -58 degrees Fahrenheit, or even lower. It is so cold that diesel fuel can freeze inside the truck's engine. Metal parts of the truck can break because the cold makes them weak. If a trucker steps outside without warm clothes, their skin can freeze in minutes. Truckers must keep their engines running all the time. If the engine stops, the truck can become too cold to start again. If that happens in the middle of nowhere, the driver could freeze before help arrives. Snowstorms make the journey even more dangerous. The wind is strong, and sometimes, truckers cannot see anything in front of them. They must trust their GPS to find the road. Even though the job is dangerous, these truckers are very important. They bring food, water, and medicine to people who live far away. They deliver fuel to keep houses warm. Without them, many villages would have no supplies for the winter. Before any truck can drive on an ice road, experts check if the ice is strong enough. Most truckers drive alone, spending many hours in their trucks without seeing other people. The roads are quiet, and the only sound is the wind and the ice under the wheels. Some truckers listen to the radio or music to stay awake. Others drink hot tea or coffee to keep warm. They must stay focused because one mistake could be deadly. If a truck gets stuck in deep snow or ice, the driver must find a way to fix the problem alone. Sometimes, they use chains on the tires to get better grip. Other times, they must dig the truck out with a shovel. If they cannot fix it, they must wait for another trucker to pass by and help them. In the worst cases, rescue teams must come to save them, but this can take hours in bad weather. Ice road truckers do not just bring supplies to villages. They also transport important equipment for industries like mining and construction. Some trucks carry heavy machines that cannot be transported any other way. These loads are very big, and the truckers must drive slowly to make sure the ice does not break under the weight. Even with all these safety checks, accidents still happen. Sometimes, the ice cracks and breaks, and trucks must turn back. Some routes that used to last for 3 months now only last for 1 or 2 because the weather is getting warmer. If this continues, ice roads may disappear in the future. For now, the ice road truckers of Yakutsk keep driving. They fight against freezing temperatures, dangerous roads, and snowstorms. But they never stop because people are waiting for their supplies. These truckers do more than just drive. They keep families warm, bring food to those who need it, and make sure life in the frozen north continues. The next time you see a truck on the road, think about these drivers who risk their lives to keep the world moving. If you liked this video, please like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more amazing stories. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.